For months, astronomers believed they had finally reached a point of clarity with 3I/Atlas, the third known interstellar object to cross into our solar system. They thought they understood its strange behavior, its unusual mineral signatures, and even its odd non-ballistic trajectory. But now, everything has changed again. A new signal has appeared, subtle, faint, and buried deep in the background noise of space, and scientists can't explain it. In fact, many of them are calling this the most baffling anomaly detected from 3I/Atlas since its discovery. And the closer researchers look, the more impossible it seems. It began with a routine deep space scan. Multiple observatories, including those monitoring 3I/Atlas as it continues to drift away from the sun, had been collecting telemetry on its trajectory and thermal output. Nothing unusual, nothing unexpected, but then residues of a low-frequency modulation, barely detectable, barely even real at first glance, created a pattern that didn't match anything in the expected data. The signal didn't match pulsars, quasars, cosmic microwave background interference, spacecraft, or natural magnetic structures. It was different, and stranger still, it repeated. At first, astrophysicists dismissed it as a mathematical artifact, just noise, a glitch, or an interpolation error from the processing software. But the second time it appeared, 19 hours later, and the third time, 19 hours after that, engineers realized something was emerging with near-perfect periodicity. Not random, not chaotic. A cycle, a pulse, a signal. The immediate question was simple. What could produce a repeating modulation at that interval from an interstellar object? 3I/Atlas is not large enough to host internal geothermal oscillations. It's not rotating at a rate that matches 19 hours. It's not shedding material rhythmically. And certainly, no known natural object emits a repeating low-frequency anomaly that grows stronger the farther it moves from the sun. That, more than anything, is what alarms the scientific community. The anomaly is amplifying with distance. Normally, when an object moves away from the sun, its signature fades. Thermal emission drops. Reflectivity decreases. Data becomes harder to obtain. But this is backwards. The modulation is becoming clearer, not weaker. More coherent, not more random. As if something aboard, inside, or around 3I/Atlas is powering up rather than shutting down. This is where the theories begin to spiral outwards. The conservative camp believes the anomaly is likely a natural resonance, perhaps a rare interaction between the object's metallic composition and solar wind particles as it moves beyond a threshold distance. But even they admit the repeating interval doesn't fit known models. Others suggest tidal interactions with the heliosphere itself, like a tuning fork vibrating when struck. But again, the periodicity is too precise. A smaller group of researchers, the ones usually ignored until proven right or wrong by time, argue that 3I/Atlas may contain a cavity or hollow interior. Engineers were the first to bring up a chilling comparison. The modulation resembles what you'd get from a decaying energy buffer, a system slowly releasing stored charge at fixed intervals. Something stable, something controlled, something designed not to deteriorate. In other words, whatever is inside 3I/Atlas, if anything is, may be powering up or powering down. Neither option is comforting. The signal also appears to shift minutely each cycle, drifting by fractions of a millisecond. Under normal circumstances, this would suggest a natural oscillator experiencing environmental resistance. But the drift is too clean, too deliberate, as if recalibrating itself. Some researchers have suggested the drift pattern resembles a search function, adjusting until it aligns with an external input that may or may not exist. The idea that the object is looking for something is not taken lightly. Another alarming detail emerges from the spectral analysis. The signal's harmonic overtones match a signature rarely seen outside of neutron star interactions, but at a drastically lower magnitude. That shouldn't be possible. No inert object under 1 kilometer in diameter should be able to mimic even a fraction of that frequency profile. Something inside 3I/Atlas is acting like a resonant amplifier, but one with no identifiable power source. Theories spread quickly. Superconducting materials, magnetic crystalline lattices, exotic metals formed in the pressure of a dead star's interior. But if that were the case, why didn't the signal appear during the object's sunward pass? when heat and radiation were higher. Why did it wait until now? This backward behavior hints at a threshold effect, like reaching a specific environmental condition that switches a system from dormant to active. In biology, it's similar to a seed sprouting only after certain temperatures or pressures are met. In physics, it's like a metastable particle decaying only when the surrounding energy density drops below a limit. If 3I/Atlas contains a metastable structure, then its activation beyond Jupiter may not be a coincidence. It might be following a natural life cycle, or an engineered one. The moment the anomaly was confirmed, radio telescopes worldwide were reoriented toward the object. Multiple observatories ran cross-correlated analysis to verify that the signal wasn't atmospheric, terrestrial, or equipment-based. All tests came back clean. The modulation originates from 3I/Atlas. Its periodicity is real, and its amplification trend is accelerating. The projection models now show something unsettling. If the signal continues strengthening at the current rate, it will reach maximum clarity approximately 9 weeks from now. At that point, whatever structure is producing it may fully transition into a new state, either stabilizing, collapsing, or revealing additional signatures. That timeline has triggered a global scientific sprint. Teams are analyzing the object's mineralogy again, rechecking density measurements, re-deriving trajectory calculations, and running simulations to determine if the modulation could destabilize the object's surface. Some fear the anomaly is a precursor to a fragmentation event. Others think it may be a form of internal resonance that leads to cracking or structural reconfiguration. But the strangest evidence comes from an unexpected source: faint electromagnetic echoes detected trailing behind the object. They appear only after the pulse peaks, forming a low-intensity afterglow. The echoes behave like reflections, but there is nothing behind 3I/Atlas to reflect off of. They could be interacting with plasma fields, but that explanation fits poorly. Another interpretation is that something around the object, a cloud, a halo, or a field, is responding to each cycle like a membrane struck by a wave. This brings forward an outrageous, almost unbelievable possibility. 3I/Atlas may be surrounded by a thin or invisible structural boundary, something akin to a shell or debris aura that reacts in harmonic motion. If so, scientists are no longer observing a simple interstellar rock. They are observing an object with architecture,